Alright guys, what's up? What's up Twitch? What's up YouTube? It's Thursday, a little bit after 11 p.m. It's time to start our weekly podcast, BrackCast. It's now number 61. I'm just going to share my story to say that we're live now. Bam. So that's good to go. How's everybody today? I wanted to do something. You know, usually you hear these days motivation Monday. You have all these Instagram accounts and pages that provide you with some quotes, maybe some stories every Monday to push you, or maybe if it's a daily thing to push you. And it's been a weird one for me too. Like, there's certain ideas that my friends have given me in terms of like how to push yourself, how to motivate yourself. And I've come to the conclusion, and I do agree with the sentiment, that you can get inspiration from other people. You can get inspiration from other sources. But the only person who can really motivate you is you. Now, if you guys have different ideas or thoughts, please feel free. Let's take part in the comments below. If you're watching this VOD in the future, but hopefully if other people join in, yeah, we can have more of an active chat on this. But yeah, like, you have motivational speakers, but they're not the ones who motivate you. They can inspire you. You know, like, let's look this up. Here, let's see. I hope I have this set up correctly. Let's see. Nope, I do not. So, hold on here, guys. I'm gonna change something. What do I do? This is what I'll do. I'm gonna do this. Go to my podcast example, but I gotta make a little bit of well, that's main display. Yes, TV. I gotta change. So let me change properties of TV, and this is gonna be display 4. Oh no, sorry guys, it's display 3. There it is. There it is. Okay, good. Lock that in place. Okay, guys. So motivational quotes. But first, let's look up what motivation is, meaning, and then inspiration, meaning. Let's just see. Motivation is the reason or reasons one has for acting or behaving in a particular way. The general desire or willingness of someone to do something. The general desire or willingness. So that is something from within, right? Desire. It's something from within. Inspiration. The process of being mentally stimulated to do or feel something, especially to do something creative. Oh, really? I didn't know it had anything to do with being creative, or just meant to do things. But look at that. Hold on, let's pull this up again. A sudden, brilliant, creative, or timely idea is an inspiration. Okay, so the process of being mentally stimulated, actually being pushed to do something. So that's what I mean. Like, you can draw inspiration from other people, from other sources. It could be an event that you witness, something that happens in the news, something that happens exterior, like an exterior source from you, that can inspire you mentally in your brain to be like, hey, look, now I can do something, to do or feel something, to do something creative. Motivation, again, going back, I know this is kind of broken record. The general desire or willingness of someone to do something. In this scenario, in this case, it's you. So that's what I mean. Like, when you motivate, like, motivational speakers, are they motivating themselves? Anyway, like, Hold on, I'm gonna pull up this thing for me so that I can at least make sure that this is going on live as I want it to. Okay, good. So look at some motivational quotes just to kind of start off this pod. Dreams don't work unless you do. Ooh, dream journal. Let's see, what's this one? Be so busy improving yourself that you have no time to criticize others. Huh. Okay, to motivate yourself. Sure. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Out of the mountain of despair, a stone of hope. Dreams don't work unless you do. That's the same one. So like all these are motivational, I guess, because you can count something as motivational if it works for you to maybe like inspire you to do something. Anyway, I think that let's look this up. The last thing I want to pull up here is motivation versus inspiration. Motivation is a push factor. It's an outside force that is compelling you to take action, even if you don't necessarily want to. Inspiration, on the other hand, is more of a pull or driving force. It's something that comes from within that gets us to proactively give our best effort. All right. I don't agree with whatever this I just read, guys. Who's the entrepreneur.com? The difference between inspiration and motivation. I think it's the opposite. Based on the definition of the words, it's the opposite. The guy just said motivation is exterior. He said here, an outside force. But it's not. It's a willingness and desire to do something, and willingness and desire come from within. No one can give you desire. It's your own desire. This guy's wrong. And then he says inspiration, on the other hand, is a driving force. It's something that comes from within. No, it's not. Because it's being stimulated by something to do something. It's something else. Process of being mentally stimulated. Sure, you can inspire yourself too, guys. You can inspire yourself. You might do something. Maybe you play some music, and then that music kind of like generates new creative ideas for yourself. Or yeah, this entrepreneur.com thing, guys, I'm gonna have to disagree with this. Let's see keydifferences.com. Let's see this. Okay. Motivation refers to a process of stimulating someone to act in a definite way to achieve a goal. Inspiration is defined as an act of influencing people mentally and emotionally to do something creative. Motivation is a driving force. Inspiration is a pulling force. Motivation is a sense of resistance. Inspiration is excitement and effortlessness. Motivation is short-lived. I agree with that. It's hard to keep motivation going. Inspiration is everlasting. Yeah, it doesn't have like a direct target. Inspiration doesn't have a direct target because it can inspire anybody. I do believe motivation has a focal point, is aiming at something, is directed towards something specific. I don't think it's external though. Feeling compelled, inspiration is propelled, source is external, inspiration source is internal. I don't get why people think this. You can be inspired by something that you're listening to. How is that internal? You can be inspired by the sunrise. How is that internal? Impulse to take action is deliberate. Yes, motivation is deliberate. You have to choose to do it. Inspiration is spontaneous. Yes, you do not choose to be inspired. It happens. It is passive. It is not something you can go out and do an action and all of a sudden, oh, I feel inspired. Yeah, it's spontaneous. I like that. I like this. So the reason of motivation: self-imposed or societal expectations, obligations, and peer pressure that pushes us to do something. Inspiration is natural calling which comes from deep inside us. Definition of motivation. Motivation is a psychological concept which is described as a stimulus or force that impels people to take an action. So it says people. So it automatically sounds like it is an external thing, like it's for someone else. It is something that persuades people to behave and act in a particular way. It is also defined as the process of giving a reason to someone to do or achieve something. Motivation compels us to set our goals on the basis of the things we feel we should be doing. It involves diverse forces such as psychological, biological, social, that intensifies one's emotions like needs, desires, hopes, stimulating them to take an action which will result in the achievement of short-term goal. Okay, like working out. Simply working out. So, that's a new background. Definition of an inspiration. The term inspiration simply refers to an influencing or arousing process that stimulates people mentally and emotionally to do something creative or extraordinary. I'm gonna go back to that. When someone really wants to do something different, the desire of doing it comes from within. When someone wants to do something different, the desire of doing it comes from within. The urge is based on the value system, beliefs, life experiences, preferences, imaginations, aspirations, similar other sense that makes us feel better if we do or achieve it. In inspiration, you truly want something for which you have an enduring desire to achieve it. You are continually interested and committed to having it. You make time for it and makes it your priority. To make time for it and makes it your priority. It is a spontaneous impulse. Motivation refers to a process. Okay. It's now just our interpretation of the word. I'm gonna go off on a different direction from these two websites, I guess, because they say motivation is external, inspiration is internal. I think it's quite the opposite, right? If somebody wants to do, let's say somebody wants to get fit, right? And so they want to lose weight, they want to look good, they want to get, six-pack, or they want to just look their best physically. So in their mind, they've set a goal. So what I could be, if I want to motivate that person, I'll be like, all right, you can do it. Just one more, 5 more, 1 more. When you're pushing someone to like finish the goal, I can see that. I can see that an external motivator, the goal had already been set by the individual, and then I'm just pushing them to reach the goal that they've already, in this scenario too, they've already started. But that's the thing, they've already made the choice to start. If someone is in a rut, and guys, I'm not speaking about anyone in particular. There are a number of individuals that I know right now are in a rut. I still have somewhat of a fitness rut right now, physical rut. What I mean by rut, like we're stuck. Like we want to change something, but for some reason we can't bring ourselves to do it, right? And no amount of motivation in this situation is going to make us take that first step. It's not going to be motivation that's going to make us take that first step. It has to be that in my opinion, that has to come from within. That's got to be a decision I make for myself. Okay, let's go back to this view. So like, I hit a wall over a year ago, like a physical, like I was working out every day. I was doing, I was doing 100 push-ups a day, 100 squats a day, and 100 crunches a day. And then from time to time, I add like some pull-ups or whatever other exercises if I want to. But I had to do a base 100 each every day. And this was during the second year of the pandemic. The first year of the pandemic, I was still in a better scenario. I was still kind of coming off of such a high before the pandemic was announced, before COVID really like took place. Like my most fit year could have been like 2019, just the year before 2020, where I was working out like 2-3 days a week. I would also play basketball 3 days a week, and I would run once a week as well, like a long distance run. I was in great shape. I was eating, I was eating more. I was definitely consuming more, but I was still maintaining my intermittent fasting too. So I was in great shape. Like I was probably the strongest I'd ever been. I was probably the fastest I'd ever been. Not fast like sprinting, but I felt like performance-wise in basketball, like I was doing things I didn't even know I could do. I would be caught in a scenario where I'm like on a fast break. I would end up finishing this layup, and in my mind, I'm like, how did I do that? I didn't even know my body could do that. But anyway, so I was in an amazing regimen, and then COVID 2020 came, and it was like a slow deterioration where that went from like a daily, multiple days a week thing to now it's like reducing, and I'm starting to eat. Well, I'm living at home more, so I'm not going out to eat as much, which is a healthier diet, saving money, but the energy level just started dropping because I wasn't pushing my body physically anymore. And come maybe like fall, this is 2020, I decide, you know what, I need a daily regimen. I needed something I could do at home every day to keep me accountable. And something with me, streaks are a thing. Streaks help keep me inspired, or actually, would I say motivate? In the way they use their definition of an exterior thing, streaks motivate me because I've already set the goal. Again, internally I have set the goal to hit something, to reach something, and the streak itself, keeping something every day, is a motivating factor for me. I continue to do something because I have this number that goes up every day. It's a mind trick. Streaks are great for that. Yeah, in a way, it devalues maybe the underlying purpose or the goal. The original focus of me, let's say, for example, learning a language. I wanted to learn Spanish. And I do at least 2 or 3 Spanish lessons a day. It could range anywhere between half an hour of my time to over an hour of studying Spanish every day. And now it's gotten tedious. When you do something every day, it gets tedious. It gets a little boring, and it feels like a chore. It now feels like a responsibility. So what keeps me going is the streak. Like I've been doing this for how many, like 808 days in a row. Breaking that number, I'd get pissed off. I would be upset with myself. I'd be disappointed in myself. So the streak itself is a motivating factor for me, but it's because I've already set the first step for that goal. So it's different. It's a different scenario from feeling stuck when you're stuck in a rut. So I started doing a daily workout. I think I did this, I called it Team 100. The 100 of each set. 100 reps of push-ups, sit-ups, or crunches and squats. And that helped me. Now I have a streak of that. And I hit 100 days. I actually hit 100 days of my 100 set or rep thing. And that was a great feat for me. But once I hit that, I don't know. It started to get more tedious and more of a chore. It's like, what's the next goal? I went out for a run one night, and I thought I'd push myself harder that day. It was cold. It was wet. I went too fast. My pace, I pushed too hard, and I hit this wall at around 12K, 11K. I hit a wall. and I couldn't push myself to keep running anymore. I couldn't endure the pain or the anguish, I guess, of that run anymore, and I started walking. I was still like 4K away from my house, so I had to walk in the cold. I was already wet from the melting snow. I was not dressed properly, so I was slowly getting cold and cold. My body temperature was dropping, and I felt miserable for the entire walk home. And that killed whatever streak I had going. That was early 2021. I'd say maybe January 2021. And I stopped. I stopped my 100 thing every day. I stopped running. I didn't want to do anything. I think I played the most Call of Duty at that time. I would just wake up, go to my computer, and like watch YouTube, watch movie recaps, binge on some anime or some series. I think at the time it could have been when I started Squid Games or something, or I think no, at the time actually I did some anime. It's probably I did a number of animes in 2021. And yeah, like I've yet to come back to that, guys. I lied. I lied because I felt a little bit of inspiration last December. I thought, you know what? Enough is enough. If I want change, I gotta do something different. I can't continue this rut. I'm gonna pull this up, guys. This other thing. Insanity. The definition of insanity here at the top is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Albert Einstein said that. Interesting. And so I was like, it's true. I can't maintain the same schedule, the same repertoire every day of getting up. I'd sleep super late at night, and therefore I'd wake up super late in the day, barely get any sunlight, go to the computer, and do the same thing every day. And I still continued my fast. That helped me maintain, not getting ridiculously overweight during COVID, but energy levels were low. I didn't want to do anything productive besides the streak of maintaining Spanish. At least I kept doing Spanish every day. But I found inspiration. This other individual at the time that I discovered, she worked out every day. She was like, I don't know, woke up at 4 a.m. every morning, would do a workout at a gym, at a class, and then she would go to work. I think she had 2 jobs, and she'd have some social time after work, read. I think she read regularly. And then when she got home, that every night she'd go to bed early, and she'd do it again every day. She does this every day. And I was like, man, that's inspiring. That is like an awesome regimen. It's a healthy regimen. And for some reason she was able to maintain this kind of lifestyle for a long time. So I was like, let's get this started. So I was like, all right, I want to get fit again first. Several years ago, guys, back in like 2014, I was the worst shape of my life. In 2014, I was overweight. It was like rock bottom for me. And the first thing I had to do that, like I was like financially, like bad scenario, career-wise, work-wise, barely had any work. I had to move back home. I had no money. I was overweight, and my relationship that was 7 years long just ended. So it was my rock bottom. That was a bad place. I had no control over anything like career, financially, because everything was like so low. So the very first thing I could work on was physical, like my body. That's what I have direct access to. Nothing else I could do but work out at home. And I did that. I did that for like 8 months, until I started seeing results. But I did. I eventually saw results, and then that's how I bounced back from that. And with that too, you know, I got lucky. Business started to pick up again. Money started to pick up again. You know, social, everything. So in my mind, I was like, okay, I proved that I can bounce back from a rut by attacking it physically first. This time around, sometimes timing is key. Sometimes timing really just does it on its own. COVID was an accelerating factor to everybody probably hitting mental health problems, depression. Everyone just lost a little bit of that motivation, inspiration during COVID, because it was like we were stuck at home. It felt like we were in jail at home, and we were just waiting for COVID to be over. We were waiting for the pandemic to be over. What's up, man? What's up, Day?
What's
up? I'm just talking about like my journey, I guess, from my 2014 rut, and then now I went to the COVID rut. And 2014, yeah, my rock bottom, when I was like the worst shape of my life, and my 7-year relationship just ended. And, yeah, that whole thing. And the first thing I could think of to like try and make changes in my life, was working out. But, you know, like I didn't have any work. I had to go back home. I didn't have any money, and I was single again. So I was like, man, what else can I do? Work out. And I was saying back in December, I started working out again. I pushed really hard. According to Warren, probably too hard. I got sick the weekend after the first week of me working out every day, 3 days, 3 times a day. And then when I got sick, it was probably symptoms of COVID. Like I couldn't get out of bed for an entire day. I just stayed in bed. I felt weak. And then after that, it was like all over again. It's like I had to start all over again, and I was back in a rut. I didn't even want to work out again. I had like my yoga mat laid out. I had the speakers out there. My weights were already ready. And I was like, I was going to do this every day, but I put it all away. Like I actually put all that stuff away because like, I'm not going to do this. I don't feel it. So I was trying to, earlier in the podcast, I was saying the definition of motivation and inspiration. A couple of websites had their version. I actually disagree. People say motivation is external, inspiration is internal. I guess it kind of makes sense. Inspiration, motivation, like motivate, push. But okay. I think motivation is internal. Inspiration is external. Like if we see somebody running, if you see somebody running and you feel like, man, I should run again, was that person's not motivating you. They're not doing anything to motivate me. I just got inspired by seeing somebody running. So that's external, you know? That's what I think inspiration is external. Motivation, when I look up the definition in Google, it's the willingness and the desire to do something. Mm-hmm. So that to me, if the desire and willingness to do something is internal, you make the choice to do it. So yeah, some of these websites say the opposite, but whatever. And yeah, I just said insanity is repeating the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. And like, yeah, that's just not that's where a lot of people I feel are stuck. They got used to some routine during COVID, and they were waiting for change. It's technically after COVID now, but it feels the same. It feels the same. The world may be opening up again where you get to go back to work. I don't know. I'll ask you. You're going back to the office now.
Yeah.
Right?
Sucks.
Okay, but you would think if that was the case March or April 2020.
March 2020, yeah.
That's when it just started. Pandemic just started, right?
Right.
If a month later they're like, all right, guys, we're good. You can go back to work. If it was just a month, would you have been excited?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah? You think it would have already been like, nice, I can be home?
Yeah.
You welcomed it right away? Okay,
yeah.
okay.
I think the 2 years that I work from home made me realize that I don't really need to be there physically to get my work done.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people, like, obviously there's jobs that like you have to be there to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But mine in particular was fortunate enough so that I didn't really have to be in the office. And
Yeah.
now that I've gotten used to that in 2 years, it's like I feel like this whole move of return to work is kind of unnecessary, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just for the show kind of deal. Like, it's actually, if anything, I think it's kind of
Counterproductive.
hurting the productive, because when you're home, when you're working home, I don't know about other people, but for me, when I was working from home, I wanted to get everything done as quickly as possible so that I could like spend the rest of my time at home doing other stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I feel like it's the opposite that's happening now that we're going back to office. I'm trying to delay things as long as possible and like leaving things the last, like the very last minute if I have to. And it's like a weird contradicting mindset, because you would think that it would be the opposites, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you kind of get lazy when you're home, and you kind of put things off when you're home. But I was like probably the most productive when I was working from home.
Would you say
Now that
more people are like you?
I don't know. I don't really care about other people, so I just.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna say there are a lot of people like you. I'm gonna say there are a lot of people who are the opposite of that.
Okay.
Who need people to be motivated,
fair.
like extroverts, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Would you say you're an introvert?
I am an introvert until I start to drink.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. I even did that whole MBTI thing. I got like exactly half. I think I was like maybe like 0.5 extrovert.
Yeah. Oh, you're on the east side.
Yeah, just like barely, barely.
Okay, so you're right though. Where for someone like you, yeah, you got more done at home because you felt you had access to do other things if you got them done quickly.
Mhm.
If you're at work, if you get something done quickly, all you get is more work.
Right.
It's like your day doesn't actually end until the time slot's finished.
Yeah.
So then it's like, well, if I have more time to do something, I can take my time to finish it, right?
Mm.
So I understand what you're saying. In my scenario here, I don't actually do things that quickly. I feel like, oh, I have the whole day. I can actually kind of do things more slowly while I guess I multitask, but I don't. I guess I get distracted. I allow myself to be distracted by things.
Mm.
And I end up taking longer to finish something. Deji,
Okay.
what's up? Are you here? I don't know. All right.
What's up, man?
What's
I
up?
was wondering, like, would it make a difference if, because I'm thinking you're in a work scenario, you're thinking like a 9 to 5, right? But what if, depending on how quickly you finish the work, you could leave right away? Do you think that would
That's
change your
that would
mentality?
change everything. But the thing is, this whole like work going back to work thing is like you have to be there 9 to 5, and it's like, then you
Yeah.
try to just like maximize that time in a sense that, like, if you got 3 things to do for the day, you start doing the last hour.
Yeah. I mean, like, look at a job like retail. Like, most part-time jobs where you have to do some sort of shift, you have to be there. Like, you can't do retail from home. You can't serve food from home. You can't, like waiter, waitress, you work at a like a restaurant, or if you clean, whatever it is, if it's service oriented, you have to do it in person. So yeah.
Right.
And by doing even if you are doing something in person like retail, and you are bound by your hours. You can't just serve a couple customers and be like, all right, I'm out of here. You got to stay there until the store closes.
That'd be sick, though.
Yeah.
That would be good. That would be cool. I don't know why. I guess then it kind of I guess the only reason why they wouldn't push for that is like they don't want people leaving early. They want people to be physically there, like in the building. To I don't know,
Well,
whatever the reason is.
it's because when it's for the customer, right? Like the customer doesn't have to make an appointment when to shop. You just have open hours. You can go in whenever you want. So it's like, yeah, it's convenience. If we start making shopping that you have to schedule when you'll be there, and like the customer has to schedule when to be there, and like have a time limit so that by this time they'll be finished and they'll be checked out, then yeah, like. But one thing I did notice from COVID in terms of retail is hours aren't open as late. Like everyone's kind of cool with closing earlier, and nobody really is complaining about it anymore. You know, when like malls used to close at 9. I mean, some do again, but like, there's really no problem with malls closing at 8 now. Because if people are working from home, they finish at 4 or 5. They could just go right away. They don't have to drive home or commute home anymore. They have time to do whatever they need to do after work. Anyway.
I was just gonna say one thing I did notice is that another reason too is like business hour peak times are a real thing. Like you get like the 7-8 rush, then you get like the lunch rush, then you always get that like 5 p.m. 5:36 rush.
Yeah.
So that's why.
But was that more during, like, that was non-pandemic?
I think just in general, like that's usually when like organizations want to have like the most staff at their stations or whatever for those like peak times.
Right.
Like I have core hours 10 to 4. So it doesn't matter what time you come in as long as you're there 10 to 4.
Yeah.
So you can come in at 8 and leave at 4. You can come in at 10, leave at 6:30, whatever. You just have to be there between those hours.
And that's just to satisfy the fact that most of the world between 10 and 4 are in operation. Right? It's just because everyone else is also, their core is 10 to 4, basically. Depending on, you know, it might fluctuate but vary a little bit on your industry. So Deji, we were talking about like the difference between inspiring someone and motivating someone. I think in order to motivate someone, if you are going to motivate someone else, that someone else had to have taken the first step already. Agree, disagree?
That person had to have taken the first step already?
Yeah. Can you motivate someone who hasn't set the goal for themselves to move?
I don't think necessarily, because I think like motivation is something that almost always starts at a fixed point of the motivator, and then the motivated person sees it and is motivated by it. But I think without that initial action by like the role model or the person that's doing the motivating, then it's hard for the other person to want to be motivated, right? Because what if you don't have a goal? Oftentimes that can be the difference in like having a goal and not having a goal. Is like seeing someone that's like, oh, this person is like focused, they got this on track, oh, maybe I need to set a goal and do this, right?
So you're saying if someone doesn't have a goal, they need motivation even more?
I'm just saying it's not necessarily dependent on having a goal to get motivated. I'm saying it's more so, I think whoever's getting inspired or motivated has to see or observe something that's already in place in order to get motivated, right?
You mean like an end result of something?
Can you give me an example?
Like I just mean like, you know, like you see a picture of like fucking, what's his name, Terry Fox or something. He's like running the Marathon of Hope.
Yeah.
And you're trying to, you know, get in shape for a triathlon. And, you know, you're just sitting around your house and you're like, oh, I don't know when I'm going to start the triathlon. I mean, you don't necessarily have I guess you kind of have a goal in mind to like run, but you don't necessarily have a date or a plan or like an action, like any direction toward it. And then you watch like a Terry Fox documentary and you're like, oh shit, he did this. Okay. Next Monday, I'm going to start running 2K, you know, type thing. Like,
okay, so was Terry Fox the motivator there?
Yeah.
Or would you say Terry Fox was the inspiration there? or both.
Is that what we're doing? We're trying to discern between both?
I'm trying to just kind of decipher the difference between motivation and inspiration.
Okay, so
Because to take your example, Terry Fox would have been the motivator if he knew that the person watching wanted to run. So like, but because he didn't, Terry Fox just ran. He didn't direct that action towards anybody. He just wanted to run. So in this scenario, I don't think he's a motivator because he wasn't trying to be. Like he didn't do it. His purpose wasn't to motivate others. I think he was an inspiration though, because people can be inspired by something he did and then they can do something.
So are you saying like that? So it looks like you're saying one of the determining factors between someone that's inspiring, someone that's motivating, is like being active versus being passive. Like inspiring can be more passive, whereas motivating has to be like more active.
I think there's intent. There's intent in motivating, like a motivational speaker, right? If his job is a motivational speaker, his intent is to motivate.
Yeah, but like if you could be, I guess, an inspirational speaker in your intent, and you can still have intent to inspire. I don't know if necessarily like motivating is necessarily needs to be determined by like an active, like an active end result. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's fair. I can see that perspective too. Yeah.
I think it can be indirect, right? Because like you could say Kobe's a motivator, but he isn't necessarily like talking to a specific person but people watch his videos all the time and they feel physically motivated to do shit.
Are you sure they're motivated or they're inspired?
I mean, I would say motivated because like there's something about Kobe that's more so he like demands action. I think there's a demand of action that separates. Okay, so let's maybe say inspiration and motivation is the demand of action.
Okay.
Like a motivator will like say, okay, you have this new information, but how are you gonna take it and apply it to your life type thing?
Yeah.
Whereas someone inspiring could just be telling their story.
Okay. Like Mamba mentality, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, he's a very like hands-on. You got to go in the gym early. You want to be better than everyone else. You got to get in there early, and you got to leave later than everybody else. Yeah, that was his Mamba mentality.
Yeah.
Can you motivate someone? Oh, sorry. Before I ask this question, DayDay, any feedback on what Deji's saying?
I'm a little confused because I thought both were kind of the same thing.
The same? Yeah. They're interchanged a lot in social media. I do see that.
Yeah.
Inspirational quotes, motivational quotes.
Yeah. Either way, if you're like inspired or motivated, I feel like the end result is you end up doing something because of it. So to me, they're the same. But I mean, I don't know.
Okay. I think someone can feel inspired and still not do anything.
But then are they really inspired if that's the case?
What's that, Deji?
No, that's definitely true.
Right.
But then how can you say you're inspired?
Well, you can say, wow, that was inspiring. But if it wasn't something you've already set as a goal.
But doesn't that lead to motivation? If you're inspired by something, aren't you motivated to do something because of that inspiration?
Okay.
What's the Oxford definition for these terms?
I thought they were. That's why I kind of always put them together. I mean, I didn't realize that.
I looked it up.
Separate things.
It says here, we'll start with inspiration first. Okay. Inspiration is the process of being mentally stimulated to do or feel something,
Okay.
particularly creative. Okay? And it's spontaneous. It's categorized as spontaneous.
Gotcha.
Motivation is the reason or the reasons one has for acting or behaving in a particular way. So it's the general desire or willingness of someone to do something. Desire and willingness. That's, I think, the biggest part. The
Does that
person...
mean inspiration is a subset of motivation?
I think in this sense, so it says the process of being mentally stimulated to do or feel something. Stimulated. So I think like that's coming from something exterior, in my opinion. You can look at a painting, you can look at a sunset, you can look at somebody else running on the street, you can look at Kobe. That's external.
Right.
Inspired to do something. And then when you look at motivation, it's when they say the general desire of willingness of someone to do something, that's, to me, it's internal. Like there's the choice. You have a desire and willingness to now act. Yes, they're linked. You can be inspired by something and then motivated to do something. But if you don't even want to do anything,
then how can you be inspired?
You can, well, if you watch a movie, right? You go in, you watch a, I don't know, of the Avengers. I don't know. You went in that movie not having any expectations. You weren't planning on doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
But are you saying you can't feel all of a sudden, whoa, that movie was sick, it's inspiring, it's like, I don't know, maybe it made you feel like you can do something in the world? I don't know. You didn't have any goals set before going into that movie. You didn't have any goals set before watching the sunset. Or if you're listening to the radio, you didn't have any goal set, but you hear a song, the song can inspire you. Even though you had no goal set, you know? Yeah, what's up?
I mean, I wanted an infinity stone, but that wasn't going to happen.
So, what? Yeah.
So that means you can be inspired in general, but
Yeah.
being motivated to do something, you have a specific objective.
I think so. This is what I think. This is what I've kind of deciphered through the definitions.
Okay.
And
that's
even,
why
like,
you
yeah.
can be inspired but not motivated because
Mhm.
you're not specific about something. Got it.
Mhm.
Okay. That makes sense. Okay.
Like, I was inspired by somebody,
Because I was just like,
but I was like, man, I should do that. But unless I start doing it, I am not actually motivated. Like, I'm not motivated until I actually take the first step. That's what I meant earlier, Deji, about taking that first step.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. I think a lot of things in life can be inspiring. But Warren even told me this too in a Discord chat before. He said, the only person who can motivate you is you. We can't motivate anybody else. They have to do it themselves. We can push them. Once they're already moving, we can be like, all right, 5 more. All right, one more. Yeah, because they're already making the choice. So we can push them to go further, yes. But they've already made the step. Yeah.
Right, okay.
But if they didn't start the set, what are we pushing? You know, it's like, all right, pick it up. Pick it up
on the chair.
Yeah. Sit on the bench. You know, I don't know. Like, I can't think of another analogy besides like lifting weights there. But in terms of saying things out loud, because I was trying to get to that, I think it's an inspirational thing to say things out loud. We can have our own thoughts. You know, man, like I need, you know, like you're alone. You can even do it to yourself. You're alone and you think you have these thoughts of like, you know, man, I have some problems and I really need to fix it. I need to do something. And you can think it. But I think...
Doesn't look like I care about your problem.
So, but then when you go and say it out loud to yourself, it adds another dimension to the thought. It's now not just a thought, you hear it. It's like a physical thing now. Like you hearing something, right? Senses, 5 senses, seeing it. If you write things down, they say that too. writing down your thoughts in a journal or writing down in a diary is another thing, because you've added touch to it and you've added sight to it. It's now these thoughts are a physical thing, and I do think these are little kind of tricks you could do with yourself to push you forward. It's like a step between inspiration and motivation. Are these things you could do on your own? Saying things out loud, writing things down. I've yet to be a writing things down person because I'm lazy. But I'll say things out loud. I'll talk to myself often. It's kind of like a meditative thing too, while driving, or if I'm doing work. Sometimes I'll say things that I'm doing, and I don't know, it adds some sort of like repetition and like confirmation in my head. And yeah, DayDay, you and I had a conversation the other night. You were thinking these things that you felt good about, that you made some changes in your repertoire, but then you finally got to say them out loud to me, and somehow you felt better.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It was I don't know. It wasn't one of those things where like I felt like a relief of
Yeah.
like, getting it off. It wasn't that. It was just
Wasn't it affirmation?
yeah, maybe. I think so.
It was like, correct. You thought something, and I was like, you are correct. It's like words of affirmation. I thought love languages, right? Have you heard of the 5 love languages? Words
Yeah.
of affirmation is one of them. I think those are things you could do for yourself when you love yourself. You know, some people buy themselves things. Oh, I'm sad. Shop therapy. You go and buy something. You buy yourself something. So that's gifts. You know, yeah. I don't think it's the best thing to do is in terms of like a love language for yourself, but words of affirmation I think is an actual thing. Like it's valid. It's a valid thing. So yeah, Deji or DayDay or both. Do you know someone right now, you know, that you feel like you wish you could like motivate them or maybe inspire them? I know me and DayDay probably thinking of one, but
I have a couple.
others.
I
Yeah.
don't have just one. I have a couple.
Yeah, I have a number of
Like
them now too.
I have one that like lives downstairs that I like.
But
Anyway, but
he lives downstairs. Do you want to
Yeah.
talk about it?
yeah, like he's on the lower floor.
Mm-hmm. He's in a rut.
I don't know if he's in a rut or like he even realizes that he's in a rut, but to me, he's taking it very like he should be taking things more seriously, in my opinion, in terms of like just life in general. Like he was behind like 2-3 months of rent, and he was you know, close to being evicted and all that stuff. And it's not a nice thing to hear, you know. That's not something you want to hear about somebody that you're, you know, close to. So that was kind of, you know,
That's rough.
it is rough. Yeah, it is rough. But like at the same time, it made me realize, like, to a point where I was like, how do you
Get to
not
that
have
point.
the sense of urgency? Like the moment you are behind 1 month, you should be
Panic
off
mode.
your ass and
Yeah.
doing everything you can to, you know, grind and make that dough, right? But he just didn't. And it got to a point where the building was like, you know, like, we let you go first month, second month, but if you don't make any sort of plan to, like, they were so nice to him. Like, they offered him, hey, just give us something, give us a plan. You know, we can do, you know, like we can do multiple
Please,
payments.
just pay us a little bit.
Yeah, like honestly, like they didn't have to do that. Like this building here is like, it's like in the middle of like a really, like, it's like basically in the middle of downtown. They don't need him to be here. They could easily kick him out and have somebody get filled the next day, easy. But
Well,
they
not
offered
really easily. You could be late on payments, and never pay, but it's hard for a landlord to kick a tenant out. Like
That's true. Those
by
laws are
law,
pretty like,
by law,
tough.
yeah. That's probably
Right,
he's
but
taking
if
advantage of that, but yeah.
but like if you don't pay in 3 months, like that's kind of,
Yeah.
you know.
I guess the eviction thing, I don't know how that works, eviction notices. But I heard tenant and tenant law or whatever is pretty solid, where you're pretty protected. Like landlords have it worse than tenants, apparently.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, that's not really like the point is
Yeah.
like you were noticed in advance, right? Like
Mhm.
and you had 90 days for them to be like, "Hey, we told you 3 months ago." That's a long time, dude. 90 days is a long time.
And they can't charge interest, eh?
No. No.
Yeah. So there's
So-
another reason too. It's like, you can't charge me late fees. I'll take however long I want.
But like
Do you know
that's
why
not
though?
a-
Like, you don't have to be specific, but I just
do
wanted
I
to know. Do you know
why?
how
Because
he ended
wasn't
up here?
working.
Okay,
He was working, but then he wasn't he stopped working.
he chose
And-
to, or COVID.
I think he tried to do something else for his work, but it didn't work out. It wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
And full disclosure, I don't think he put in like
The effort.
the effort. He would always talk about it, but he didn't put in any real effort to actually like kick it and get it rolling. Like he was all about, you know, oh, I'm gonna be I'm gonna do Twitch streaming and all that, and he has a good amount of followers, but like nowhere enough to cover his rent, obviously.
Yeah.
And like
Damn, he was planning his Twitch stream his way through his rent.
yeah, and like I'm like that kind of mindset, it just blows my mind, because it's like the world isn't that easy, like, you know, it's not like
Yeah.
like if I was him, like I told him, because he called me like a week before he was supposed to get evicted, right?
Oh my
He's
god.
He called me. He's like, "Hey," and I had no idea. Like, I had no idea, but he called me and he was like, "Hey, is it cool if you spot me?" And I was like,
Oh jeez. He asked for. Oh damn.
I was like, "No, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't do that with like I don't do that with close friends." And like I tried to explain it in a way that like
It's tough.
like I told like this is how I went about it. I said, if I can easily do it for you, but I will choose not to, because I don't want to be the person that you rely on every time something bad happens, right? Like I want you to fix this. Like I'm not gonna like, yeah, I can do this for now, but what about, another time in like somewhere down the road?
Will be next time.
Yeah, like to me, like I didn't tell him this like word for word, but like I basically said, you need to actually put some effort before you start asking for help. Like
Yeah.
you can't
It's not a
like, you
bailout.
can't just sit there. Like I'm not gonna give you handouts,
Yeah.
like that's not how it works. And like I told him, I was like, maybe you should try like Uber Eats or like something like where you can put, it's literally like direct, like it's like a direct proportion to the hour to pay, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not like stream where like you can put in 10 hours and get nothing.
Yeah.
And the response I got was, well, gas prices are high. And I'm like,
Wow.
did you try?
Yeah.
Did you try?
Well, there was even a premium that people added to
It
Uber
doesn't-
rates because of the gas.
it-
But like, it
that's
doesn't
just-
even
it-
relate. It doesn't even
It
relate.
doesn't matter. It was like, to me, that's when I knew. I was like, okay, he's
Yeah.
just coming up with excuses for everything.
Making shit up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like at that point, it was like, it doesn't even matter. Like even if I have a really, really great idea, he's gonna come up with a reason not to do it. And that's on him. Like I'm not gonna be the one to just like pull him out of his like quicksand or whatever. Like if he wants to be there, then that's his choice.
Mhm.
Like unfortunately, like I love the guy. He's a great friend, but like I was like, I was really angry when he said that. I was like, did you try? Like, did
Yeah.
you try to, and you compared the monthly thing? Did you put in the hours? How are you already putting up a wall saying, oh, it's gas
Yeah.
prices are high? I'm
Resistance
like,
is there. Yeah.
so all the other people that are doing DoorDash and Uber Eats are just stupid because, you know, they don't know about gas prices. Like, come on, man. Like,
Yeah.
put in some work and get off your ass and do something. Like, seriously. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, I was,
And yeah, that was you trying to motivate someone who didn't make the first step,
yeah.
in my
Yeah.
opinion. Yeah.
I mean, like, that's all in the past though. Like, it's worked out, and like,
Found a
he's
job.
good.
I'm not gonna,
He's
I'm not
working.
gonna, yeah, he's working 2 jobs now. Like, he's good. He's good now.
Oh, good. He made that step. He finally made the
Yeah.
step.
But
That's
that was
good.
on him. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think if I were to give him that handout back then, like, he wouldn't be here now. Like, he would still be doing nothing.
Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah.
now I can talk to him about it and joke around and be like, "Hey, remember that time you asked me money?" He's like, "What a stupid decision that was, huh?" And then, like, we just laugh about
That
it.
was crazy.
Yeah, but yeah. So I think like, it's good to, it's fine to have problems, but like,
Of course.
if you choose to just kind of let it sit there, that's a problem, you know? Like, if you don't do anything about it, that's a big problem.
Yeah. Like you're just waiting for something else to happen for you. I don't think it works that way.
I mean, it could, but
It's possible, yes. Yes.
but I think chances are kind of, you know, slim.
And I'll admit to it too, actually. Like, I'm not saying it's not possible, but I don't think it's a good way to go about it, because you know, you could be waiting forever. I got lucky because when pandemic started to lighten up, I started to work again. That had nothing to do with any effort that I put in. It just so happened that there was demand again, and then therefore I had work again. So the wait for me was, I had to be patient, and it came. So good. But that's not to say too, during the 2 years that I did nothing though. Like, what I'm saying, my rut is like a physical fitness rut. Like, I still haven't gotten that back into that. But professionally, I was always trying to be on top of, like, okay, how can I optimize this year so that I still save money without working? So it's like, so I still did that. Deji, do you have an example? Anybody?
Repeat that last part.
Do you have an example of anyone that you also are,
Need to motivate.
yeah, stuck in a rut, but you find is like resisting? Even yourself, maybe even yourself.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, probably myself would be the best example of that. I mean, one of my friends who I do music with, I try to motivate him to, like, be more active within his musical journey, and that's been, you know, collaboration. Like, he's not resistant to it because he also feels the same way. But as far as like trying to motivate someone and not really getting through, I don't think I've had that experience.
Nice.
But at the same time, too, I feel like that's part of my personality because I don't necessarily like to impose certain things on people in general. I just like to let people do whatever they're gonna do.
Yeah.
You know, if I really want to like put someone onto something, it's probably something like lighthearted, like some new music or like a new movie or a new book or just some general advice. But as far as like compelling someone to change like their lifestyle or something like that, I don't think I've really done that in the past.
But have you come across people where you feel like they need it?
I think it's mostly just been myself. Like, I just try to just start internally, and you know, that's something I'm still working on right now. So to be honest,
Okay.
not really.
Okay. Focus is more
Internal.
on yourself, so that's good.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. Do you do anything for yourself to motivate yourself? Like, yeah, as I said, my example was saying things out loud to myself, writing things down. Yeah, DayDay too. What do you do to motivate yourself?
I vision. I kind of picture where I'll be,
Where you
like,
want to be?
whether it be next year or like 2 years or 5 years.
Mm.
I try to do that pretty much every morning when I
Whoa.
get up. Yeah.
Wow, you project?
So that it's kind of yeah, projection. It's like so that it's constantly like it's to a point where like I'm like just like I want it like in my head subconsciously. So that's the first thing I do.
Does
when
it
I
feel
get
like
up.
setting a goal, like a future goal?
Yeah.
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 Okay, that's cool. Damn. I definitely don't do that.
I think it's good because then like it kind of helps you. Well, at first it was just like projecting, but I think maybe like last year, started to like actually break it down so that like, okay, I need to maybe get this done by, this time frame, and then break that even further into more things and just little things. It doesn't even have to be something like crazy. Like, for example, like I never used to drink enough water.
Okay.
So I I set an alarm on my watch, and then whenever the alarm goes off, I make sure I finish the cup of water, and then I refill it. And then the next alarm, I drink water again. And now I don't need the alarm anymore. I just drink water.
Nice,
This
dude.
is yeah. It was bad, like, because I used to drink tea so much, and
Yeah.
I used to like not drink water, and I got to a point where I was super dehydrated and I got sick.
Yeah.
So, and then the doctor was like, "Tea's not water." I was like, "Oh, okay."
But there's water in it.
He's like, how much green tea do you take in a day? And I was like, I don't know, like 12 or 15. And he's like,
Oh,
do you
wow.
drink water? And I was like, no. And he's like, tea's not water. I was like, oh, all right. So that's when I started that, and now like I don't need the alarm thing anymore. So that was a like, it's something small like that, that makes it makes a difference. And I used to drink a lot of pop too, like Coke Zero, Diet Coke. So
You're better than me. I drink the straight shit.
the what?
Just
The
straight up
straight
Coke.
all the sugar. Give me the full Coke.
Coca-Cola.
It was, yeah, but then like I was drinking that a little too much too, so I bought a those like water carbonating thing. You can get a little get the
Mhm.
little gas,
Mhm.
and I put the bottle of that next to the Coke. So every Coke I take, the next one has to be that one instead of another Coke.
Okay.
Yeah. So
How often
that's
do you
kinda,
drink either of those?
now not much anymore, but back then like that was like one thing I did to kind of just like cool off on the Coke.
Okay.
That helped a lot.
Nice, man. That's
It
cool.
can be small things. It doesn't have to be something huge. Like if you
Micro goals.
if you have problems with something, just like figure out a way to change it. It doesn't have to be right away. Like you can't come up with something, like, if it's a big problem, like you can't be like, okay, fuck, like what do I do? And then you can't just stay there. You gotta you gotta be like, okay, well, like maybe I'll start with this little step and then that little step, and that builds up.
Hmm. I feel like maybe I should have more monetary goals besides growth. In my head, it's like I just want more than I had last year. That's basically where
You
I
should
set it,
you
but
should
maybe I should
set
have
up
numbers,
you should have numbers, and then that way
metrics.
you can track the progress too, and it's fun because it feels like you're like gaining the experience bar, and it's I don't know, that's the way I look at it.
Oh, I have, the tables and the charts. They already do the calculations. I just don't pay attention. But yeah, maybe I should.
Was that monitor screenshot thing?
Screenshot?
Yeah,
Oh, when I showed you the breakdown?
the Excel.
Yeah.
That was like a super colorful one. Is that what you're talking about?
No, that screenshot was just expensing. For just
Oh, okay.
expenses. They were categorized
That
based
looked
on
really
taxes.
complicated.
Not really.
Damn.
I just did that because when you do your taxes, depending on what you buy or what you spent on, there's so many different categories of what it counts as for your taxes. So, like I do my own taxes, so at the end of the year, I don't have to categorize them separately every year. It's already done as I punch them in. So
Right.
it's like what QuickBooks does it or something like that. But yeah, I have other tables also. It's pretty not complex, just there's a lot of info on there that shows me, all right, am I growing? Am I not growing? Like, am I spent more this year than I should spend? Like, things like that. Like I do have that too. But in general, yeah, I always want to end up with more money than I did the previous year. I have to. Like that's not just growth in terms of business income, but like saving. Like I need to work towards a house eventually. I think that's what I'm trying to get to do.
That's a big one. Yeah.
All right, Deji, any other examples of what you can do for yourself to keep you accountable?
Watch a lot of Jordan Peterson interviews.
Okay.
He always has like good points about just like how being a responsible human being is like something to, aspire to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I don't know. Yeah. Just like, I listen to a lot of podcasts. Just try to take away things that the guests or the hosts have to say about just like striving to be better,
Do you guys want to try an experiment?
Okay.
The three of
What's the
us.
experiment?
Each of us have to do one thing we hadn't done before in terms of like motivating ourselves. So like DayDay, I'm gonna try an alarm, and I'm gonna do push-ups every time the alarm goes off. Because I have I kept
that's
making
a good one.
and like I keep saying, oh, I'm too busy, I don't have time. But if the alarm goes off, I could quickly do a set. So I'm gonna do that. Maybe I'll do once an hour. I don't know, once an hour, maybe.
Once an hour? That's a lot, dude.
Hourly set. I think it's doable. It's not super long.
How many in a set?
I'll aim for 35. 35 with these things. The handles. So
Okay.
it's harder. If it was without these, it'd be 50. But with these, I'll do 35 an hour with these.
Nice.
All right. Do you guys want to try out something?
I don't know what I would do.
Well,
I like the push-up idea. Maybe when you do push-ups, text me. I'll do some push-ups.
no, I'm not texting you, dude. That's not called self-motivation. You can set your own alarm. We can both do the alarm.
True.
Yeah.
What time?
That's a cool one though. I like that.
Yeah,
Maybe
5.
not every hour for me, but
Why not?
Maybe do it because I'll be working. I can't.
What, you can't put 30 seconds?
Do 10 push-ups?
You could even do 20.
No, I think 10 is a good starting point.
10? All right, 10. 10 push-ups every hour.
That's like,
You do it if you do it for 10 hours, you did 100 push-ups that day. That's sick.
yeah. That's hard. At 20, we would die.
20 push-ups, dude.
It's like 200 push-ups.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. But I mean, DayDay, you already did the alarm thing, so I'd say maybe like every hour you could say something that you were thinking. You could just say it out loud.
Oh, I get in trouble at work if I did that.
Okay, don't say it out loud. Oh, at work. Okay, yeah. Well, I don't know. Deji, do you have anything you want to give? Okay, DayDay, you have to watch Jordan Peterson every day.
I can't. So, I'm sure that other people can relate too, but I've lost the attention span of watching something longer than like a half an hour on YouTube. So I just I have a bunch of like those clips on YouTube shorts that I watch. but
Okay.
I can't watch like a full of anything. So
How about
I can
this?
do that.
How about this? Here's an idea. I hope it's working, but like, what's something that either of you guys have thought, I gotta do that, but you put it off? What is one thing that you feel like you should be doing, but you're like, you just haven't done it yet? I mean, we could all do the push-up thing. I mean, if you want.
Something I haven't done yet?
Something you thought to yourself maybe a year ago or maybe a few months ago, man, I really should be doing that. But up until now, you still haven't started.
Started boxing.
That's a big
That's
one.
cool.
I feel like that's a big expectation to push to you. But hey, do you think you could do it? Do you think you could start like this week?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, this week. This week might be a bit tough, but
So next week?
actually, boxing and getting back into a dance class.
Like weekly though?
Weekly, yeah, actually.
I want to introduce. Is there something we can introduce to you that you could do daily?
Push-ups.
Okay, well, yeah. Okay. I mean, that's an easy one. I feel like we can all do that.
I think I'm gonna go with finishing a book.
Oh,
Okay. Reading. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that's
reading.
big.
Because I haven't done that in years.
Read a book?
Me neither, dude. Me neither.
Like
Oh,
I have a
man.
bunch in my room that's just like been sitting there, like untouched.
Yeah,
So,
man, crack them shits open.
yeah,
Okay.
sure.
You
Yeah,
have
that's
a
good
book.
one.
All right. So will you read it a day? Every day?
A whole book? No.
No. Like 5 pages a day?
Yeah. That's what I'll do. That's a good one. And then I'll hopefully finish one by the end of the month. We'll
Okay.
see.
Okay. Man, I should do the book thing too. But I'll
Do
start
5
with
pages a day.
I'll
5 pages a day.
But I don't have a book.
What if it's
to read.
double-sided? Is it 5 pages or like 5 pages double-sided?
I'll give you 5
pages,
one-sided pages a day. One-sided. I mean, size of font. How big the pages are. It could be hard. 5 is a
Okay.
lot to me, man. Like that's a lot.
That's why I have to double check.
That's like nothing.
I do not read fast. I am a bad slow reader. I'm not a reader. That's for sure. Okay. All right. So we'll start with that. We'll next Thursday we will catch up and we'll be like, all right, did you do your push-ups every day? Are you gonna do the push-ups too, DayDay?
No.
I'm gonna start.
I was close. I was close to lying, but I was like, I'm not gonna lie on stream.
To lie on thank you. Okay. I'll start tomorrow. I'm gonna do.
So what time are you setting it for past the hour?
I'll set it for the 5th minute.
So 7:05, 8:05, 9:05.
Well, for you, you're gonna start earlier than me. I'm probably still sleeping by the time you're doing it, but I'm gonna do per hour until I hit. I want to hit 100 to start. But I'm not gonna do 10 an hour. I'm doing more than 10 an hour.
Damn.
Right? I'm doing 35 an hour, so I can hit that in 3 hours. You know what I mean?
35 an hour.
Yeah.
Damn, son.
Well, it's different. Like that's the thing I've been doing for years. So like push-ups are kind of like my thing.
35 push-ups every hour? That's crazy.
No, I used to, dude. I used to do 100 in like 5 minutes.
Yo, get out of here, bro.
Yeah, I could do 50 in a set.
Oh shit.
So I could potentially do 100 in 1 hour if I wanted. But I'll start with 3 hours of 35. I'm gonna do that.
Damn, yo, teach me your ways, bro.
All right, Friday. Am I seeing you tomorrow? You going?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you see the messages? Can you answer, please?
Potluck? Oh, you gonna get roast chicken?
What's
Yeah,
happening
yeah.
Friday?
Krista's
birthday?
birthday is this weekend, so we're meeting
Whose
up
birthday?
for Krista.
Oh, cool.
So we're
Another
meeting
happy
for dinner.
birthday for me.
Yeah, we'll do. But yeah, Dej, we'll do a set at Krista's.
We're gonna do a dance. Oh shit.
No, not a dance set. A
Oh,
push-up set.
push-up set. Oh man, I can only do 5.
Yeah.
No way, dude. I don't believe you.
Just give him some drinks. He'll be able to do 10.
I'll motivate him because the choice has already been made. The goal is there. So yes, I will motivate you. I will push you.
Okay.
All right, guys. Anyone else who's watching, try it. Everyone needs to drink more water, I think, too. I love the water alarm thing. That's actually a really good idea. And yes, thank you, DayDay, for specifically saying you drank a lot of tea. And then your doctor said, tea isn't water. Oh my god, people. How many times I've come across people like, yo, do you drink water? Yeah, how many glasses of water you drink every day? Oh, but I drink a lot of tea. There's a lot of water in that. I'm like, yeah, it's not the same. Yeah, now you know. Now, for everyone out there, it's not the same. Drinking...
It's not the same. It actually dehydrates
It's like
you.
really diluted though.
And then you'll get a headache.
Well, the purpose is it has to have nothing in the water. I think about it in terms of like osmosis. It's pure, so it removes toxins from your cells. If it's pure, if there's more stuff in the water, you're adding stuff to your cells. You're adding toxins to your cells. So, anyway, tap water is fine, guys. Drink more tap water.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, guys. We're gonna wrap it up there. We'll see you next week, Thursday. Hopefully, you guys have done some push-ups, drank more water, said things more out loud, and read a book. Peace out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.